If we are going to address the land-grant mission today, we have to be willing to step back and think very carefully about what the real needs are.
This question of what's the 21st century land-grant mission, we're very interested in determining how our mission benefits the citizens of the region around us. So in our case, because we are the Ohio land-grant university, we want to do things that improve the quality of life for the citizens of Ohio.
The citizens of the state of Ohio have the unique opportunity to be able to have access to an institution where they are able to gain education, but also to set up the citizens of the state for mobility in lots of different areas.
When we look at the world's most complex questions, we're going to need really innovative solutions. Having a group of faculty that have common interests and really common themes and goals is going to allow us to get some of these really complex questions over the finish line.
The idea of the Morrill Land Grant Act was that each state would be given a grant of federal land that they could then sell, the proceeds of which would be to endow a university in their state. Those universities were to focus on teaching agricultural and mechanical arts. This university began in September of 1873 as the Ohio Agricultural and Mechanical College, a name it would keep for 5 years, and then it was given the name the Ohio State University.
Something people don't always associate with the land-grant mission is that it was about access to education. And so as land grants across the country developed this notion that we now call cooperative extension or extension, it really was a very logical growth of that land grant thinking. Access to education can be in the classroom, but a lot of access to education is in the real world, solving problems in communities. The power is really getting it out into communities. Cooperative extension is the Ohio State University, not just in all 88 counties of the state, it's in every community of the state.
The partnership that exists beyond the four corners of the campus really helps to support what we're talking about as a land-grant institution, because with those partnerships and those relationships really allow us to be able to provide students with access to experiences that many of those students wouldn't have.
The work that we do is not just ivory tower work. The problems that we are attempting to address, the solutions that we're trying to generate, and so getting our knowledge off campus and out into the community is absolutely critical.
One night I was studying and I ran across the street to grab a snack, and I saw a family doing their grocery shopping at this little convenience store, and I just noticed, you know, this isn't just statistics, this is something more, and it needs to be something more, and I need to do something about it. I started learning about food deserts and food insecurity, and it was something that I had never known about before. Through that research, I became more and more passionate about how it was affecting our community. Fast forward about 6 months, I actually found out that I won the President's Prize for my program, the Unity Fridge program. We started a community garden over on Waterman Farm, and what we do there is grow all different types of produce with Ohio State students and different community members, and we deliver that produce all around the Columbus community to organizations that serve people either living in food deserts or dealing with food insecurity. I'm a social worker, and I had never planted a seed or worked in a greenhouse, I remember the first time I went out to Waterman Farm and I saw this, half acre of soil and dirt, and I was in over my head. I was so terrified, but it really was the support around me that showed me, if you have a dream, you have an idea, there are the people here to support it and grow it and create something out of it.
Around the world, we have cities and countries that are really looking at issues of food security, and they want large-scale solutions. So what you need are teams of people who come together. We have a lot of folks in some of our interdisciplinary work, we call them the discovery themes here at Ohio State, who are building those bridges intentionally. So we'll have people who understand crop production and crop breeding, new varieties, and they'll talk to nutritionists about how some of the things we eat in our food, in our fruits and vegetables, for example, that actually have healthful properties for us. We know that some of the things in our food actually help us battle cancer. In the urban environment, is there a way that we can actually help a city feed a city? These are the kinds of questions a place like Ohio State answers because of the enormous breadth of intellectual power that we have.
Mansfield is like a typical, what we call Rust Belt city, an absence of economic activity. In Mansfield, we saw a community where our university existed that had food deserts and that had needs for economic development, and we were able to muster the interdisciplinary skills of the Ohio State University to help catalyze the kind of change that they need.
Food security is a big issue. Food safety, food security, food availability, food deserts and how to mitigate them. These are huge problems. They're huge problems for Ohio, they're huge problems for the United States, and they're huge problems globally.
I'm a historian. I'm in the Arts and Sciences School, and I am leading a pilot project to transform agriculture. I walked into Mansfield and said, I've got this idea for a whole lot of little micro farms which are aggregated together into a cooperative that will grow and aggregate so they have a sufficient volume to compete for that real market. Food is a catalyzing investment, and that rethinking how we might structure and design our food systems could really make a lot of positive change in places.
We have an opportunity to take important research and academic programs and then move that into the communities we serve. And as we do that, we offer the additional promise of creating new industries, economic growth, so that we can be a magnet for the types of discoveries in ways that will have a meaningful impact for literally decades to come.
Here's the land grant at its best, which is not telling people what to do, but helping to catalyze the aspirations that people already have.
We are fulfilling the land grant mission of Ohio State, which is meeting our workforce needs and educating a broader array of the population. We're the place that's going to help make that successful.
Higher education provides a pathway to different types of mobility in our country. And from a land grant mission perspective that Ohio State represents, is certainly one of the best in the country.
There's a lot of knowledge and wisdom outside of universities that if you combine with what we can learn, then we have a much more powerful force for affecting positive change in society.
In 10 years, I'd like to be able to say that Ohio State made a major impact to improve the lives of all the citizens.
Being a land-grant university defines who we are, defines our mission, and that we continue to play an important role in the state, in the country, and across the globe.
Our future is quite promising because we continue in the strong tradition and legacy of why we were founded to educate the constituents of our beloved Ohio and advancement to the world.
This is, in fact, the land-grant mission, our ability to take the ideas that we generate as a university and put them to work in society.